Hello everyone, my name is Sai Krishna. I am excited to present my project on real-time weather dashboard. This project features a secure authentication system using Firebase, allowing users to sign up and log in and manage their profile details. The dashboard fetches live weather data from Open Weather API, providing temperature, humidity, and wind speed and weather conditions for any city. A personalized user experience is implemented, displaying user details in the navbar and profile card on hovering effect. And the UI is modern and responsive, ensuring a smooth and visible, appealing experience on the device. Let us have a demo on my project. Click the sign up button, we can see a pop-up like the sign up was successful and redirect to login page. And we have to give the again same credentials email and my password also my email only. And we click the login button and we can see that login successful and redirect to the dashboard page. And this is our dashboard of our real-time weather API. And here we can see our username, and here we can see our profile in which we can retrieve the email and username as well as phone and address. And we can also see the logout button in which we can sign out from this weather real-time weather app. And we can see a input field as well as a search button in which we can enter the city name and retrieve the weather of that particular city by clicking the search button. And let's have a demo by entering a city name Delhi. We can see the temperature of 34.96 degrees Celsius and humidity as well as wind speed and weather of clear sky. By this we can enter the city name, and when we click the search button and it will retrieve the that particular city's weather data. And now let us have a look on the code. Initially we will have the boilerplate of the HTML code, and we will see this from here. This div auth container in which we can take the input fields from the user to create an account in our real-time weather dashboard, in which we can take the input fields like full name, username, email, password, as well as phone number and date of birth and address. These all fields are required, so we will keep a keyword called required. And when we complete the form filling, we will click the sign up button. And when we click the sign up button, the JS function will be called on document. You see here, where, uh, see this submit will be clicked, and we will have an anchor tag like all you already have an account. That means if we have an account in our site, then we will click on the login hyperlink in which we can to redirect it to the login.html page. And these three script tags for importing the Firebase core libraries, and this is for Firebase authentication library, and this is for Firebase Firestore library, in which is also called as a database normal language. And this script tag is to import the signup.js functions. And this first code of line was to integrate the also called as configuration of Firebase, in which we can configure with our Firebase credentials like API key, auth domain, and database URL, project ID, storage bucket, messaging center ID, app ID, and measurement ID. By this we can configure our Firebase, and with this configuration we have to initialize a variable which is also called as an instance of Firebase dot initialize app. And in this we will send the parameter called Firebase config. By this we can create an instance of Firebase, and from this Firebase we have to create two variables called auth and database. And this auth is used in order to log in or sign up or and this logout functionalities, and this database is used in order to retrieve the data from the Firestore, or in order to save the data into the Firestore. And if we see when the submit button was clicked, then we will collect the data from the front end by the syntax of document.getElement by id, and this is the id we have given in our front end, and dot value will retrieve the value from the that input field, and by this we will store this in these variables. And this auth dot create user with email and password is used in order to sign up a particular user by providing it two variables called email and password. And if this function executes successfully by sending a response true, then this then block will be executed. If there an error is occurred, then this catch block will be executed. And when this response is true, then the user credentials will be passed into this call by function, and this user will be taken as an instance. And with this stored details, we will store these details in the file store, like db.collections by creating an users collection, and we will send it through an primary called user.uid, and we will send this data in a set formats. And if this then block also executed successfully, then this then block will be executed, or which is also called as invoked. In this, a call by function will be occurred, like by alerting sign up successfully and redirecting to the login page, and this block of line is to redirect to the login.html. Here we see that in this, we will take the two input fields like email and password from the user in the login page, and these two fields are also required. So we will keep the required keyboard in this, and a login button in which we can click, which is also called as submit. And here this anchor tag is don't you have an account, in which we can say that if you have an account in our if you don't have an account in our website, then we will click the sign up and we will redirect it to the signup.html page, and in which we can create our account our site. uh, we have an account, no? That we will enter our details and click the login button, and these three script tracks is to import the firebase main core library, and this is for firebase authentication core library. This is for in order to import firebase first, and this is also called as firebase database also. And this script tag is for to import the login js, and we will see this login js, right? This first block of code is to configure the Firebase in our code by providing the Firebase credentials. We like API key, auth domain, database URL, project ID, storage bucket, messaging center ID, as well as app ID, measurement ID. And from this Firebase config, we have to create an instance of Firebase by using a function initialize app, and we will pass this Firebase config as a parameter. And in this login, we need only auth. We don't need DB, because we are not trying to retrieve the data from the Firestore. In order, we will check whether the user's email or password were in our Firestore. If if yes, then we will go to the dashboard. If not, we will raise an error like uh, invalid email or invalid password. And when the user click the submit button, then this block of code will be executed, and we will collect the input fields like email, password from the front end by using document.getElement by id, and these are the ids we have given our input fields, and dot value is used in order to retrieve the value from the input fields. And this auth.sign in with email password, this function is used in order to check whether this email and password are present in the Firebase, and if yes, then it will check the email and password are correct or not. That means they match with the existing credentials in our Firebase. If yes, then this then block will be executed. If not, then the error will be alerted. If yes means, then the alert will be like login successful and redirected to the dashboard HTML. Now let us see the dashboard HTML code. Uh, these three script tags in order to import the Firebase core libraries and Firebase authentication library and Firebase firstore library. And these styles are for UI presentation. We are not focusing on this. And see this nav section. This firstly we will greet the user by saying hello user, and this will be updated dynamically through the JS when the data was fetched from the database. And welcome to weather API in this center of the nav section, and this profile container, and this will be evoked when the cursor was hovered on this profile container. And this is our dashboard, which we will take the input from the user with the placeholder of enter a city name, and we will click the search button. And when the users click the search button, this get weather function will be called. If we see that get weather function, yeah, see. And when this get weather function is called, it will try to get the value from the input field by using this get element by id city input dot value. This value is stored in a variable city, and this is passed into this URL, and this weather API key is initialized here, and this will be taken from this open weather map, and this will be taken through the process of creating an account at this weather API website, and we can get this API key from that website, and we will initialize here. And when the fetching data was successful, then this then block will be executed. And here the response.json is a process of structuring the data into the JSON format, and if it is successful, then the second then block will be executed in order to update the static data. See, if we see here, when we click the search button, then the demo we see that weather details are appeared, right? And this is dynamically done through this process. Say document.getElement weather city dot image text will be updated with this data dot name and data dot temperature, humidity, speed, and description. And see, this is dynamic approach of displaying the data. And if we see this, this is also this is called as firebase configuration in order to retrieve the data from the database, as well as in order to check whether the dashboard is logged in or not. And this firebase dot initialize is in order to initialize an instance called firebase, and this auth to check whether the user was logged in, and this database to retrieve the user's data from the firestore. And we know that whether API, and this block of code is to check whether the user was logged in. If not, it will redirect it to login HTML. If yes, then the user was existed. Then it will try to retrieve this that user data from the users collection. And in the users collection we have several users. From that we need a particular user, so that we have a primary key called UID, user.uid. If the dot exists, that means that a particular user was existed, then we will retrieve the data from the database, and we will update it here. See, this is the static details, right? And this static details will be updated with this details, like user dot full name will updated into username and text, as well as email, username, phone number, and address. And this is the entire real-time weather dashboard code. And thank you for watching.